listening to Into the Spotlight with Osaka Jack on Everfree Network. Hello everyone, this is Osaka Jack with Into the Spotlight on Everfree Network. Today with me I have someone that I've been trying to get on for a while, but schedules just don't connect these days as much as they used to. But finally, she couldn't evade me. WhiteHeather, hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing quite well.
Oh, good. That's good. Now, there is a chance that some people might not know who you are.
Yes.
Could you give a quick rundown description explanation?
Well, I am mostly known for making plushies. I'm not as prolific with my plushie making as some of the other people you've had on the show, but I've made quite a few. And I also recently organized the quilt that sold for a large amount at the Everfree Northwest charity auction, so that was really cool too. But basically all of my stuff is textile, art-based, mostly focusing on plush making.
Sure. Okay. Do you remember how you got started with it?
With plush making in general, or ponies?
Yeah. I mean, was it you saw ponies and said, I've got to make these, or had you been making items and said, oh, ponies, let's try those?
Well, I have a major in art from college, and my senior project in college, I actually made a bunch of really kind of creepy plush dolls with like pregnant torsos with plush babies that came out, weird stuff like that. So I've been doing plush stuff and textile art for a while, and then watched ponies, saw a lot of people starting to make nice plushies, and was like, well, I can't afford to buy those, but I could probably make one myself, so let's try this. And so I did.
I'm still stuck on the pregnant torso thing.
Yeah, well, that was just one of them. Then there was one with a heart that came out and a removable brain. And then I had little tiny plush dolls based on like ancient fertility figures, like the Venus of Willendorf.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
You have a Cocopelli stuff?
No, nothing like that. But just a lot of kind of creepy plush dolls. So yeah, that was my thing. And then and then for a while I made doll clothing as well for Asian ball jointed dolls. So I've been doing a lot of sewing and decided I should try making pony plushies too when I saw other people doing that.
Huh. When I was younger, there was a toy that I absolutely loved. It was called My Little Monster. And the whole idea of it was this giant plastic monster that had a bunch of organs inside it, but the organs were actually a puzzle because they would only fit in its body one certain way.
Ooh, interesting.
And it was fun. And I'm just imagining if we could do a plushie version of this thing now.
Probably.
Okay, all right. Just trying to imagine it, but that I've never heard of Operation-style plushies before, and that sounds interesting to me, I have to. Well, you mentioned it briefly, but yes, one of the things you've done recently was the massive charity quilt.
Yes, indeed. That was a lot of fun. I'd never made a quilt before, but I've obviously done a lot of sewing, and I really liked the idea of making a pony quilt, but I didn't want to take on making an entire quilt by myself.
That would be difficult, yes.
Yeah, so I was talking with Space Voyager, who I know you've done an interview with before as well. We talk a lot. And I was like, maybe I could get all these other textile artists to make squares and we could donate it to charity. That would be really cool. And she thought it was a really fun idea. So I just posted on my DeviantArt about it to try to get feedback and see whether other people would be interested, and it went from there. Ended up being a lot more work than I thought it would be, because organizing that many people, not the easiest thing in the world.
No. I would imagine very difficult, yes. How many artists did we have at the very end? Was it 36, 35?
It was 34 originally, including myself. Originally, it was supposed to be 35. That's how many squares are on the quilt.
Right.
But one of the people had to back out last minute just
Oh,
because they were unable to finish it in time. So I made two of the squares.
I see. Okay. Now I know one of the squares you made was Twilight.
Yeah,
What was the other one?
Dr. Hooves.
Ah, okay, gotcha. All right, got it, got it. And you were able to, I mean, not just make this quilt, which is fantastic, but the center square. Center square is Lauren Faust's OC.
Yeah, and White Dove Creations made that one, and she has a lot of connections with many of the people who work on the show, and
Hmm.
so she was able to get Lauren to sign that for us, which is
Wow.
awesome. Yeah.
Hmm. I'm curious on this thing, real fast. Did you plan where each character was going to go before?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
once I got all, well, except for that I knew I wanted to put the Lauren Faust square in the middle
Of course.
because obviously.
Yeah.
But other than that, I waited until I got all the squares and then figured out how they looked good together,
Okay.
what looked good next to each other, and also tried to put ponies near each other that had some sort of relationship, like all the Apple family and
Sure.
the Flim Flam brothers are near each other. But I also made sure that it didn't have like all the squares with blue backgrounds in a row because that would look weird.
Ah, that's a good point. That's a good point. You did make, though, I noticed the four corners are the bad guys.
Hmm. Yeah, I thought that would be fun.
When you made this, did you essentially tell them, okay, do this? Or did you just say, I need this character, go?
I said I need this character on a square this big.
Hmm.
Do whatever you want
Oh, wow.
because I wanted people to feel free to make it
Sure.
in their style. If I was like, you have to do a portrait and it has to be applique and all of this, the quilt wouldn't be as interesting, I don't think. I really wanted people to use their own creativity and interpret the character how they wanted. That's why one of the squares, the derpy square, actually doesn't even have a picture of the pony on it. It's just a more abstract square inspired by the character.
I see. Okay. See, honestly, if it was a derpy one, I would think it would be hilarious if that square was empty and derpy was in one of the other squares.
I almost put her on the back of it, but I just didn't have time.
Okay. That would have been incredibly funny.
Yeah.
Yes, the whole thing was given up for the Everfree Northwest charity. And at the very end, how much money did that thing get?
$20,000.
$20,000.
Yeah, definitely blew any estimate out of the water of what I thought it would make. I mean, I thought it
That's
would sell for a lot, but
mhm.
not that much.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's an
didn't think I was going to do it again this year,
uh-huh.
but after it sold for that much, we are organizing another one. Don't expect it to sell for that much money again, but
Probably not. No, but
but hopefully.
yeah.
Actually, the guy who bought this one is making a square for the new one too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Ooh, you need to up the difficulty and have like each character like reaching one hoof into the next square.
Well, we're actually, instead of doing it character based, we're doing it based on episodes from season one. So each
Oh,
square will be
okay.
based on an episode, and then the center square is going to be a larger image this time. And yeah, we'll see how it turns
Okay,
out.
I see what you.
Hopefully, I haven't gotten any squares from anybody yet. Definitely
Right.
going to put out a reminder about that soon because I'm hoping to get them all by the beginning of December. So
Sure.
I have all of December and my Christmas break to work on it
Hmm. Hmm.
because Everfree is a little earlier this year too.
That's right. It is. Yeah.
And I also need to make a costume before it starts. So,
Ah, yes, yes. We've yeah. You've done a few times. You've
yeah.
been Cadence
Yep. And
and
my
Shining.
husband,
Yes.
yeah, my husband goes as Shining Armor and I go as Cadence. And we actually won Best in Show at the Everfree cosplay contest this year, so that was cool.
That's cool. That's great.
Yeah.
I think of the costumes that I've seen of this year seems the most irritating for him, just because it's hardest to see out of. I
Actually, it was significantly better than the previous one because
Really? Okay.
the medieval ones were very, very warm.
I would imagine that, yes.
And so that
And
definitely.
I,
And and my husband had 32 pounds of chainmail on underneath that costume. So,
I'm just thinking the helmet looks like you'd be able to see things that are a little bit distance away from you, but get close to your nose and you can't see anything.
that's probably true.
But no, yeah, you're absolutely right. I would rather have that than a few dozen pounds of chainmail
Yep, and a velvet cloak.
and velvet cloak. Yes, and that was 2012.
Um, that was whatever the previous year was. Let's see, what year is it? It was 2013.
Oh, 2013. Okay.
Yeah. The first year for Everfree, we did Derpy and Doctor Who's. It was really a really casual cosplay with just like
Hmm.
stuff from Goodwill and whatnot. We didn't
Gotcha.
get into doing the more elaborate cosplay until the year after that.
I see. I see. Okay. Yeah, I remember. I was there for the velvet chainmail one, and it was I wouldn't say it was incredibly hot because honestly, it got much more humid over here, but it wasn't cool, especially in the noonday sun.
Yeah, we definitely had the air conditioning in our hotel room turned up as high as it would go and would just go back and sit in there for a little while anytime we got too warm.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't have that problem this year, though.
Good.
We were much smarter in our design choices for the
Hmm.
weather.
I know that usually the convention seasons tend to be in the summer, but I
Hmm.
have to admit that I was very happy that Japan PonyCon had one on January 4th because nobody complained about it being too hot. It was
Yeah,
excellent. Wear whatever cosplay you want. It's fine. It's cold out. Yay.
yeah. Everfree's in the end of May this year, and hopefully that won't be as hot because here in the Pacific Northwest, usually May isn't too hot yet, so
Mhm.
should be pretty good.
Did in this year's did you use the same fan that you had previously?
I brought it with me,
Oh,
but I didn't end up carrying it around. But I did bring it with me
okay.
in case it got too hot. But I didn't need it.
That's good. That's good because that is a very pretty fan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was very pleased with it.
Mhm.
I had looked around at some people who made medieval style fans just to. I was like, yeah, maybe I'll buy one, and then they were like $60, and I was like, I can make that. So I made it.
That's yeah. $60 is let me try first. If I fail, then we'll have a backup. But yeah, let me try on my own first.
Exactly.
Hmm. Well, was there a prize for the contest or
Uh,
just accolade?
yeah, there was a one ticket for Everfree next year, but we actually ended up giving that to someone else who was in the contest and didn't win, but we had been talking to her in
Mm.
line. She was a Chrysalis cosplayer, actually.
Oh, nice.
And because we end up buying the sponsor badges and
Right.
we needed two anyway, so we're like, we'll just give
Yeah.
this away. And we also got some vouchers for wigs from Mithril Wigs,
Oh, okay.
which, yeah, so that was cool.
Oh,
But mostly we just entered because it was fun and
sure.
it's cool to get the recognition.
Right. Right. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, on the plushies again, um, perhaps not as prolific, no, but you do have quite a v- varied selection
Yes.
that you've done. And I have to say, one of my favorites, and I'm sure it'd be Dusty's as well, is Teenager Cheerly.
Yeah, that's one of my more recent ones too. So that has my new and improved pattern. But I'm
Hmm.
always improving. My
Right.
next one will look a little different from her even.
Oh, okay. What did you use for the braces?
It's actually if you go to like craft stores like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, you
Mm.
can in the section by the rhinestones, they have like these little rhinestone mesh thing things on rolls that you can buy, and it's just
Okay.
like a little string of There's not even rhinestones. It kind of reflects light like rhinestones, but it's just like
Okay.
this little metal thing attached together with some string that's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to look like a rhinestone.
Huh.
Thought it looked perfect for braces, so that's what I used.
Okay. And did you buy actual socks for her?
No,
Oh.
I bought a sweater at Goodwill and cut it up.
Ah, okay, I see. For the socks. Gotcha.
Yep,
Gotcha. I
for
understand.
the leg warmer, yeah.
Right, right. Ah,
Because I know a lot of plushie makers end up making the clothing out of the same fabric that the plush is made out of, but I really like making my clothing out of the same kind of fabric that the piece of clothing actually would be made out of.
okay. That
So,
makes
yeah.
sense. Ah, as someone who grew up in the 80s, I can remember and relate to a lot of these fashion things.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I grew up in the 80s as well.
Crimped hair. Yep, yep, yep.
I always wanted crimped hair and I never got it, but I went to get it and they didn't have a crimper at
Oh,
the hair salon and I was like, "What?" So they braided my hair in a bunch of little braids while it was wet and then I took it out later and it was really poofy. And pretty amazing. Yep.
nice.
Oh, the 80s.
Yeah, yeah. It is inevitable that it is inevitable that every person will at some point be embarrassed by their past.
Yes.
So it is funny to me to look at younger people now and say, what about this is going to embarrass you the most? Hmm. What? I'm not sure, America, but right now, a big fashion thing for 20s somethings is I call them Wizard of Oz shoes.
Hmm.
It's for men. They get business shoes that are too long for their feet, so the end
Oh,
kind of curl up slightly.
that sounds ridiculous.
I would agree.
Yep.
But I've seen quite a number of, and everything else on them looks well tailored. Like nice shirt, nice suit jacket, nice pants, but your shoes are like bending up at the tip, like you're Christoph. You're wearing Christoph's shoes, I guess.
Ah, yeah. Well, I guess at least they're not too small.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, with the Parasite plushies,
Hmm.
we've done Applejack with a hat
Yes. And a
uh,
Trixie.
and a Trixie. Yes. Are there plans to do any more of the main characters as Paris Brides, or
Maybe like mostly what I do is based on what commissions I get, unless I'm making it for presents or
sure?
whatnot. So if somebody asks me to make them, then yeah, probably. Or
Okay.
if I decide that I need them for myself. But right now I'm a little more focused on making the ponies than the Paris Sprites. The Paris Sprites are fun, but
Hmm.
I like making the ponies more.
Gotcha. Makes sense. We've done you've done Pinky Spy
Yeah.
and similar pose, Mission Fluttershy.
Yep.
Is there any other sitting position that we're going for?
Any other particular? Well, obviously I've made Lyra in the sitting position already,
Of
and
course.
a Trixie. I'm actually going to be doing one for a trade with another pony artist.
Hmm.
A lot of these ones, both of the Pinky Spy and the Dangerous Mission Fluttershy one were trades with other artists.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be doing a sitting Coco Pamel for a trade with another artist coming up here pretty
Okay.
soon.
All
Yeah.
right.
I find that a lot of the plushie artists, when I trade with them, they like having the sitting one because it's different from what they
Sure.
make themselves, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. It makes sense. Kind of stands out and is more easily placed.
Yeah, very true.
Don't have to worry about all four legs hitting the ground to balance. Nope, just place for the butt. There it goes. It's good.
Very true.
And I am surprised at how popular Coco has been. I really am. I thought it was a cute character, but
Yeah, I am too. I really liked her, but
hmm,
I am always into the ponies in Rarity's episode because she's my favorite. So I like all the ponies that are related to her in some
Okay.
way
Yeah.
too. But I didn't expect her to be as big in the fandom.
Hmm. Now, one of the most recent things you've done a test, rare test, you called it.
Yeah, that was for Space Voyager. She is developing a pattern that she wants to put out for sale eventually. So she
Okay.
asked a bunch of her friends to test it out. So
Gotcha.
I made a little Rarity with that to
Hmm.
test the pattern for her.
Since we've mentioned that you enjoy the characters in the Rarity episodes so much, is there any chance that this one will have a version that has overalls and a straw hat?
Maybe, though personally, I will probably. I need to make a Rarity for myself. I have a ton of Rarity plushies
Hmm.
and other merchandise. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of my collection. I have a pretty ridiculous Rarity collection, but I
Hmm.
haven't made one for myself yet, other than the one with Space Voyager's pattern.
Huh.
And I would like to make one with a bunch of different outfits, but I'll probably go for the fancy ones first before the
Oh yeah.
overalls.
Yeah, I know. I've
That was
seen
really cute, though.
I've seen a few do Apple Jewel. It's
Yeah,
cute, but I haven't
that,
really seen a plush. I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure it is. I just haven't seen a plush of the countrified Rarity.
yeah. I haven't yet either. I mean, maybe I've seen one. I see a lot of plushies, so sometimes I forget.
This is true. Yes, you get a lot of them. Hmm. Now commissions right now are closed.
Yeah, I recently was opened and took a few. So once I finish those, then they should be open again. Going to try to be better about opening commissions more regularly now than I have been in the past. But I
Well,
have
I think
some I'm
you
working on
mentioned that you
now.
just got a new machine, right?
Yeah, I had a really old sewing machine that I absolutely loved.
Mm.
It was like from the 1950s or 60s, and it was
Wow.
mint green. There's actually a picture on my DeviantArt of one of my sitting Lyras sitting on top of it.
Hmm.
Um, but it finally just started to go. I could probably get it fixed, but it would probably cost as much to fix as the machine was worth because it's so old.
Right, right.
And I've been wanting to get a new machine with a few more functions for a while because my old machine could only do straight stitch and zigzag,
Sure.
which is really all you need, but it's nice to have a couple other things every once in a while. So I did
Hmm.
recently buy a new machine on eBay, but in between getting having my old machine kind of break down and finally
Hmm.
getting a new machine, I wasn't really able to do a lot of stuff. And I also just moved to a new apartment, so I
Right.
wasn't working while I was doing that either.
Gotcha. Yeah, hard to spend money when you're not making money. Hmm.
Yeah. But now that I'm at my new apartment, I have an entire room devoted to my sewing and craft area and my rarity
Ooh.
collection. So that makes it a lot easier to work too, because if I'm in there working, I can't get distracted by the computer as easily because it's in a different room.
That's a good idea. That's a good. I don't know why, but I am imagining just you go in there and all of a sudden red glasses appear on your nose and just every Rarity piece of music appears.
I did listen to a lot of rarity music while I was sewing. My glasses are brown though. I
Ah.
would love some red ones, but
Hmm. Hmm. The, one of the areas I live pretty close to is Denden Town, which is essentially otaku central for Osaka.
hmm.
And there are some shops that specialize in cosplay.
Oh yeah.
And I know that American shops, there are wig shops that do cosplay, and that's great. That's fantastic. But the level of detail that they can have here is just phenomenal. I have seen glasses that were designed to look like a specific anime character's glasses. And it's so awesome that they could do that. And you can
Yeah,
actually
that
put your
is cool.
prescription in there. They're overpriced, granted.
Well, of course.
Yes.
I
But,
would.
man, and I'm just thinking now it'd be cool to see somebody doing cosplay that actually has Rarity glasses.
You can get some glasses that are pretty close to hers I've seen before.
Yeah.
But I'd have to get prescription lenses in them or wear contacts underneath because I need to wear glasses all the time.
Hmm. It does beg the question if Rarity wears contacts when she doesn't have those in.
Yeah, well, they might be reading glasses, so then she wouldn't need them other than when she's doing her little detail sewing work.
Yeah, that's true. But we don't see her reading very much.
That's true, but you'd also need it for sewing because you need to look at stuff close up while you're doing that.
Yeah, very true. My eyes are the reverse, so actually I would have to take my glasses off were I to sew more than just small holes and things. I'm telling you guys, any male out there right now, you don't have to be an expert at it, but learn how to sew before you go to university or college.
It's really good idea.
Yeah.
When I was in college, everybody would ask me to just like sew buttons on for them and stuff, and I'm like, guys, there are 4 holes that the thread goes through. Can you really not figure this out?
Yeah, it's easy. You go through one, then the other, and you just repeat until it feels strong enough. Done.
Yep. But apparently that was a difficult concept for some people, and hemming stuff obviously was way too hard. But yeah, if you know how to sew on buttons and hem things, it'll get you pretty far in clothing mending.
It is, I mean, I can hem. It looks terrible, but I can. But for me, it's mostly able to sew on button, yes. Able to at least hold a rip together until the end of the workday, yes.
Definitely good things to know how to do.
Yes, absolutely. And I also recommend to everybody have a small sewing kit, just a needle and a few colors of thread, wherever you work.
Yep. Safety pins are good too.
Safety pins, yes. Yes, one of the schools that I've worked at here had nothing like that. And after being bumped into, there was a large rip in the back of my jeans and my pants. And we had to use a stapler.
I've seen people hem things with staplers before.
It's not the worst thing out there, but for a hem, but for a rip right on the seat of trousers, it didn't look great.
It probably wasn't very comfortable when you sat down either.
No, not at all. But it only had to last 3 hours, and that it did.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. You mentioned that most of the stuff that you do work on is if somebody commissions it, but is there something that you really wish people would commission?
Just for a while, I would always get commissions for the same characters. Like I had a bunch of people commission Sitting Lyra because I was the only person who made her, so it was understandable. But it gets really boring to make the same thing over and over again. Sure. So I just like it when people commission stuff I haven't made before. Okay. But right now, a lot of the commissions I'm getting are for people's OCs. So that's really nice because it's obviously something I've never made before because it's not a character from the show.
How many Alicorn OCs have you had to make?
None yet.
Ooh, okay. That's nice.
I guess the one I'm working on now is a bat pony that also has a horn, so maybe that counts. But she's really cute and Halloween themed, so I'm pretty excited for it.
Baticorn, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know what the term for that is.
Horned bat. I don't know. Okay.
As far as ponies from the show, though, I don't know if there's anything real specific I wish somebody would commission. They're all fun to make, just as long as it's something I haven't done before. I actually haven't had anybody commission Rainbow Dash yet.
Really?
I have never made Rainbow Dash as a full-size pony, only as a Beanie Baby.
Huh.
Yeah, so I guess I would like somebody to do that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the Beanie Babies, you mentioned them, but those are just adorable.
Thanks.
Do we not do them anymore, though?
I do them sometimes, but I haven't had any requests for them recently.
Okay.
I probably need to figure out, for those and the Paris Sprites as well, I kind of need to refigure pricing, because I made them cheap as I could because I wanted people to be able to afford them, because I know the full-size plushies are not an affordable item for most people. Right. So I wanted people to have something they could buy that was cheaper, but some of them, like the Rainbow Dash Beanie Baby, still took me a long time to make because of all of the colors in her hair. So some of them I might need to look at pricing again and sadly maybe up the pricing a little bit just to make it worth my time to make them.
Well, that makes sense. It's, it's more work. It's got to be higher price. Sorry.
Yeah, unfortunate, but true.
Mm-hmm,
I did recently, I made a slightly different Beanie Baby pattern, and that was even more simple than these. And
mm-hmm.
I did a class with some of my students that I teach art to after school, and we made little fleece Beanie Baby ponies with them,
Oh,
which was
cool.
pretty fun. Yeah.
That's nice. Did they seem
Yeah.
to enjoy it? Was it easy enough for
Yeah.
them?
I mean, we had to do it over the course of a few days because when we do art projects with the kids, we only have like an hour to work on it. And obviously, even a simple thing like that, you're not going to sew it together in an hour.
No.
But yeah, they seem to really like it because um, most of the kids that I did it with were already fans of My Little Pony, so they were really excited about making something.
Sure, sure.
And yeah, they had a lot of fun, and it was cool.
That's good. They're going to be your competition in 3 years. You know this.
Maybe. That's okay. There are probably way more people who want plushies than there are people making them. Everybody always seems to have commissions. So,
Yeah, and they always seem to be full. Yep.
yep, exactly. So I'm not too worried about.
I've seen, I see a lot of people complain that it's too expensive, too expensive.
Hmm.
Which, okay, that's a different debate for a different time. But I would, I just like to point out, almost everybody is usually full on commissions.
Yeah,
So instead of complaining about the price, save up now, so that
exactly.
when it does open, you've got money ready.
Yeah, and we totally understand that most people don't want to spend $300 or more on a stuffed animal because especially if you look at it as a stuffed animal.
Sure.
But you got to look at them more as like fabric sculptures and think of it as a piece of art
Hmm.
because that's really what it is. If you want a $30 plushie, there's Build-A-Bear, there's Aurora, there's
Hmm.
Fourth Dimension, there are a bunch of different cheaper plushie options for people who
Taobao.
don't have. I don't support those ones.
No, no, neither do
I
I. I live
actually
closer and I don't support them. So,
I do I did buy one of the rarity ones before I really did research into it and I feel kind of bad about it.
uh,
But I don't support them now
yeah.
because if you're going to not be supporting fandom artists, I think you should support the officially licensed ones since then the money goes to support the show and shows Hasbro that you're interested in
Very
ponies
true.
and want more of it.
Very true. Very true. And hey, let me just say, guys, Japan's exclusive plush are pretty cute, and
They
sometimes
are.
I resell them, and you should contact me and talk about.
And I got one of them from you.
Yep. How is it holding up? Did the
It's
hair arrive okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just fine.
Okay. Good.
She's on my shelf with my
Yay.
other rarities. Look, I think the picture, my most recent rarity collection picture is in like the scraps section of my Deviant art if you are interested in it. Yeah, I'll send you a link to it. You can see her there. She's next to the Build-A-Bear one.
Yep. There she is. Woohoo! Represent our country, girl. I still insist that is one of the best forward-facing rarity mains I've seen in a mass-produced plushie.
Yeah, a lot of the rarity plushies, just the mass-produced ones, not not the best manes on her. The Aurora one is pretty cute, but her mane's a little flat.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, the Build-A-Bear one is the brushable hair, so don't doesn't really look like Rarity's fabulous hair.
No,
Same with
no.
same with the Thai Beanie Baby one.
Yeah, very true.
But I understand that the Target little girl market probably really enjoys brushing the hair, so it's okay.
Hmm. Yep. I have, I think, I last year when I went to Singapore, there's no Build-A-Bear in Japan, which drives me nuts.
Oh wow,
They would do
I'm
so well here.
surprised.
They would do so well.
Yeah, I'm surprised there isn't one.
Yeah, but I went to Singapore for vacation. They have Build-A-Bear. I was able to get Fluttershy, and through some trades, I was able to get 3 of the other ponies.
Oh, nice.
So there, but the problem is that I do live in Japan, and my apartment is not big.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I actually keep them at the school that I work at, and there, when the kids come up the stairs to go to the class, they pass by them every day. Most of the boys just don't even look at them, and the girls, oh, it's so cute, it's so cute. Every once in a while, I'll catch one of the boys like repositioning them. Not just like, get them to face each other, and then the next day it'll be facing somewhere else, or style the hair a little bit differently. And I don't say anything to him. I don't say anything to him because I don't want to discourage him from that. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's still kind of cute.
Yeah, it is cute. I had one of my students come in the other day, like bouncing and talking about bronies to one of the other teachers, and the teacher was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, ooh, I know what you're talking about. You should come talk to me about ponies. And we had a moment.
That's nice.
And then a lot of the boys were singing about Rarity and Rainbow Dash the other day on Friday. It was adorable.
Really? Oh,
Yeah. I don't know where that came from because only one of the boys had ever talked about ponies before, and then a bunch of them were singing about ponies the other day. And it was really cute and made me happy.
singing like one of the official songs, or just singing a
No, they
song?
were just like singing a song. I can't remember how it went, and they were just like more like a chant about,
Okay.
and that included the ponies' names, and
Huh.
it was really cute.
That's adorable. That's
Yep.
great. I would be very, very happy if, regardless if they admit they like it or not, if Pony becomes just so indoctrinated into the culture that everybody knows the names and doesn't even mention that's how you know that name. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
I was, I don't actually know how a lot of them knew the names because I didn't think most of them were into ponies. A lot of my girls are into ponies, but most of the boys, if they are, they don't admit it, except for that
Right.
one kid who came in. But they all knew the names, and not all of them have sisters. So,
Hmm. Well, I know on songs, as of recording this, actually, just today, you got to watch the new movie.
yes, I did.
I haven't had the chance to, and it's probably not going to come to Japan theaters, so I'll have to wait for DVD. But what's your opinion on the Rainbow Rocks Equestria Girls
I
2?
I loved it.
Okay.
And I especially liked the music. I don't know if you've heard the soundtrack at all. It's up
I
on
have not.
YouTube.
Sorry, not yet.
If you want to listen to it, you can
Hmm.
listen to the whole soundtrack. But I thought the music was great, and it the movie was really funny, and there were a lot of nice fandom shout out moments in it.
Good.
So obviously, I'm not going to give people any spoilers,
I
but
appreciate that very much.
I definitely recommend seeing it. If you
Hmm.
can't see it in theaters, still try to see it once it comes out on DVD.
Hmm. Did you stay till the end of the credits?
Oh yes,
Okay.
gotta stay till the end of the
I have
credits.
no idea what it is, and I would appreciate people not telling me, but I do know that Megan McCarthy herself said, might be a good idea to wait till the end of the credits. Just saying.
It definitely is. You
Okay.
definitely want to wait till the end.
All right.
No spoilers,
Right.
but stay till the end. And besides, the credits themselves have like nice music and cute little like sketchy drawings of the Equestria Girl
Oh, okay.
characters
So like
during it. So
storyboard pictures?
yeah,
Okay.
kind of. They're really cute.
Oh,
Probably cuter than the actual animation, and I wish it looked like that. But so it's fun to watch the credits anyway. So you might as well stay through them and then see the bit at the end that you definitely want to see.
hmm. I have to say, I love a lot of those post-credit shot scenes from movies, but I'm not too pleased that it's become the norm. Just because after so long, my body has become used to, okay, movie is over, credits are rolling, now we can go pee, right?
Yeah. Well,
And
at
I'm like,
least
no, no, hold, no, just wait, man. We got another 5 minutes or so. There's going to be something after, and I'm going to kick myself if I don't see it here. So just hold on, hold on.
at least with the Equestria Girls movie, it's a really short movie, so you
Okay,
if you go to the bathroom beforehand, you shouldn't really have any issues unless you drink like one of those gigantic sodas during it, maybe.
of course I have to. That's how it works.
See, what I do is I eat a big lunch before I go, and then I don't feel the need to have anything while I'm watching a movie.
I don't eat when I'm watching movies. I can't do that because just I'll have to be like pause eating. What did he say? What
Oh,
was
yeah.
yeah.
Especially if you're chewing popcorn, because it's really loud when you
Yeah.
chew that.
Well, I mean, even just like something quiet inside, the internal sound.
Yeah,
What? Oh man, I missed it. Okay, so we have a hearty recommendation of EQ Equestria Girls 2 from you.
definitely. I was trying to figure out if there was anything I wanted to do plushie related for it, but I'm still not convinced I want to make dolls of them in their Equestria girl forms just because their limbs are so skinny, which is definitely
Yeah,
a hard thing to plush.
right. Could you do like one of those optical illusions where it's actually a huge, thick, stocky limb, but it's like painted, or the fabric makes it look like it's skinny?
Maybe. I don't know. I think it
But
would
I
probably
don't know.
be better just to do like a different style, like a
Yeah,
chibi version of the character or
that's a
something
good
with a
idea.
smaller body
There you go.
rather than trying to give the illusion that it's skinny when it's not.
Yeah, good point. Uh, well, out of all, and I suppose we can include today's movie if you'd like. It's canon. A question that I ask in all my interviews. In all of My Little Pony, what would you say is the one line or one scene that defines you?
Um, well, it would definitely have to be Rarity during Suited for Success, stressing out, trying to make everything perfect. Yep. I
That's
think that that is the episode where Rarity actually became my favorite character because prior to that episode, I'd always say like Fluttershy was my favorite because she was
mhm,
cute.
right.
But then that episode came out and it's like, Rarity, I connect with you now.
Yeah, that
And
episode really fleshed her out as a character.
yeah. And Twilight is my second favorite because she's a dorky librarian and I actually have a master's degree in library science.
Oh
So
wow,
we got
okay.
a we got a connection there too.
I had somebody not believe me that that was an actual thing at one point. Oh no,
Yeah.
seriously, library
I get
science is
that
a
a
thing.
lot.
Uh, which is a shame, but all right. And I'm sure you have it on quick replay. The scene from UHF.
No, I actually
Oh,
haven't seen that.
Weird Al's movie UHF. Basic storyline is has his own television network, and they're making the weirdest shows possible. One of the best parts of the movie, in my opinion, is the short commercials that he has, like the movie Gandhi 2, where Gandhi's like a kung fu guy shooting up at the place.
Oh, I
And
think I've seen that a clip of that.
okay, well, one of the other ones they have is Conan the Librarian, and it's got this
Oh.
huge beefy guy who's a librarian, and someone just goes, "Excuse me, can you tell me where I can find this book on particles?" And like picks him up with one hand. Don't you know the Dewey Decimal System?
Well, what if it was Library of Congress? You know, there are different filing systems out
I know, but the joke
there.
worked. And he uses his massive sword to actually cleave somebody in two when they return a book late.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure many librarians wish they could do that with people who return things exceptionally late.
Is it too late for me to admit that I have a library book over here that I borrowed about 20 years ago from the library?
Well, you should return it.
It's been paid for.
Oh, well, they probably bought a new one then.
It was my mother's Christmas gift to me one year to go to the library and pay off my and just pay for the book. Like thank you, because I can't get back there. It's not an easy thing, and I don't really want to spend vacation time going there. But
Well, even librarians return books late sometimes, but I've never had a fee higher than $5. I just have to say.
okay, yeah. Well, everybody, today we have been speaking with WhiteHeather. When commissions open, be sure to commission her. In the meantime, get your ideas ready. Ooh,
Yep,
I got it. I got it. We'll make a pony composed entirely of parasprites.
that sounds horrifying.
Yeah, but man, it'd be cool. And attach them all with like Velcro, so it's like build a pony, put it together like a Voltron.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. I actually won an Olaf plushie at the Crane Games the other day that was Velcro, so you could take the head and body
Oh,
off and then reattach it.
well, that's appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's appropriate. Yeah, okay, you're right. Paris Sprites wouldn't be entirely appropriate, but man, cool.
Well, maybe you could do a rainbow dash, and then you could attach the Paris sprites in like the little bikini, like they were on her
Oh
when they. Yeah.
yeah.
See,
There
do
we go.
that.
There we go. That's a good one. Okay.
That would be pretty expensive if you wanted to commission that. Just saying.
Yes, I'm aware of this.
But I often do when I take commissions. I choose the ones that seem the most interesting. So the more
Oh.
interesting your commission is, the more likely you are to get it.
Okay, I'm gonna let's see. Okay, I got it. I want a pony that has a open part on the bottom, and you actually turn them inside out, and they become a changeling.
That would be very difficult
Yes.
because I don't know that it would stuff properly. It would probably look a little funny. Maybe
Yeah.
more like if you did more like a Beanie Baby style one where it could be
Okay.
floppy-ish,
Right. Right.
that would be better.
I'm just throwing out odd ideas here that would just like, get the ideas. Ooh, how could we do that? Well, thank
I've
you so
only
much. Oh, good.
Oh, you're sorry.
Huh.
I've only made one changeling so far. That was the chrysalis. They're definitely hard, but I wouldn't mind making a regular changeling. Just saying, and that's what I want somebody to commission, a regular changeling.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for coming by and speaking with us today.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone, this has been Osaka Jack with Into the Spotlight on Everfree Network. We will catch you next time.